Hello, beautiful human. 24kGoldn going to be in our studio any second. This episode coming at you, courtesy of Vibrasonic, the mattress that I sleep on for the last year. It's changed my life, Dan, because you know what?
What?
Having a good life, having good health is connected to good sleep.
Yep.
And my Vibrasonic mattress allows me to do a lot with my mattress.
Like what?
Oh, I can listen to things differently because there's speakers built into it.
No way.
Yeah, you play video games differently, you listen to podcasts differently, you meditate differently. You could like listen and experience anything differently because so much is connected to audio. It's really crazy. If you want to try them out, grab the link, scan the code, and know something. The foam, like the memory foam is amazing. When you get hot, it gets cold. Plus, the adjustable base aligns to your spine, so try it out.
That's great.
Seriously, if you're looking for a mattress, they're the one. Let me know how you sleep. Hello, beautiful human. I'm Zach. That's Stanley. Welcome to the studio. 24kGoldn.
Yo.
First time on the show in person. But we talked in the height of everything in the middle of COVID.
Yes.
What do you remember of that time period in your life?
I remember doing a lot of Zoom interviews. Yeah.
Do you remember hearing your song everywhere?
Yes, I do remember that too.
Can you describe what that entire, I don't know, it was like, dude, it was a year plus, right, of time.
Yeah.
Very unique moment in history,
Yes.
in culture.
Yes.
And you have a record that is bigger than fucking big. Like,
True.
Is it something that you remember every detail of, or is it genuinely a whirlwind? Because what is that like to have a hit song where you're not doing the traditional things that somebody would do when they have a hit song? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think the best word I can use to describe it is surreal. Like, you're at home, you know, doing the same things that you might have been doing on any day that you would spend at home, but outside and the phone, Spotify streaming data, whatever, Amazon streaming data is all saying like you're getting 3 million plays a day or this or that. So I think it's that weird like juxtaposition of everything being normal and everything being completely different than what it's been before at the same time.
Yeah, like there's two abnormal things, right? Like there's a giant pandemic going on, and then on top of that, you're becoming famous, really famous, and your song is being consumed by millions of people every day. And then, like, you're just at home. So
yeah, playing Xbox or whatever.
Yeah, you feel it through the most unique ways.
Yeah.
Like no traveling to radio stations, no doing pop-up shows.
No club appearances.
No, and that was the kind of stuff that I was like, damn, this would be really cool to do right now. No tours, I didn't get to do any of that during that time period.
Well, it's like it breeds an interesting conversation, which is those are the things that are a part of artist development, right?
Yes.
Like they make an artist an artist.
Yes.
Some people can tell you that like an artist isn't a real artist until like somebody throws a beer at you and you're performing to nobody.
Yeah.
But you have to be given those moments while, I don't know, on the journey of supporting a song that is a fucking hit.
Yeah.
It's really, you know, people talk about like, we don't develop artists anymore, or people, I'll have the conversation with fellow artists or like label executives all the time. We just came out of a moment in history over the last few years, like 2019 to like 2021, 22. We had more one-hit wonders. And I'm not saying you're one at all, but we've had more one-hit wonders over that period of time than we've had in a very long time. Because the forms of music and the avenues of music were so different, and the democratization of it all, and then labels just eating it all up for singles, not for like, and then giving nobody time or a chance to develop, and you're not getting the opportunities that like every other artist has had to develop.
Yeah.
Like because you're not out on the road, you're not doing anything that they did.
Nah, it was exactly like you said, like because everything changed and you're not going to see these artists in person. You weren't seeing these artists in person for at least a year and a half.
And by then it was over for some people.
Yeah, all you had was that, for a lot of people, was that one moment that caught on the internet and never translated into like a real world thing.
And you've had more. Valentino was fucking huge.
Yeah,
Mood was fucking massive. Like
Yeah.
that is you are not a one hit wonder by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just talking like during the period of rapid growth for you.
At that time,
Yeah,
there was
there
a
was
lot of people that were having that experience,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
It was wild to watch. But then also like you're in a position where you have 2 great songs and you still can't develop properly as an artist because a part of that is doing club gigs and getting out there and performing. So,
well, it's not to say that I didn't have that period before the pandemic.
Yeah, of course.
Because there was, I think Valentino popped in like 2019. So I got to go on tour with Landing Cube and like Corday and really get a grassroots, like ground up experience of what is it like to open up for somebody? What is it like to do these 500 cap rooms and be an opener for that? And there might only be 200 people, 50 people while I'm performing. So I'm glad that I got those like beginning stages before everything ticked up.
yeah, it hit.
Yeah.
It like really hit because Mood comes and then Valentino rises even more, right? Like, and that happens all the time too. It's like one hit song hits and then everything else you have also rises.
In the back catalog, yeah.
Totally. It's really interesting. I mean, what making Mood, making Valentino, does any of that change the way you're creating music today?
I think it did for a little bit because when I started making music, it was what song do I want to hear the most, you know? And that's how every big song that I've had, whether it's Valentino, City of Angels, Mood, whatever, that was the intention that I had when I was making it. And I would say once you have something that hits so commercially, that hits so big commercially, everybody else's perspective kind of changes and they see you as, oh shit, this kid can make us a lot of money. So they're kind of pushing, hey, make another one like that, make another one like that. And me, you know, being 19, 20 at the time, it's very hard to stand on those principles because you have all these people that have been doing this longer than you and have seen more artists than you've been in the game and are supposed to be doing what's best for you, but a lot of times it's what's best for you right now and us right now, but not necessarily you in the long
future.
term.
Yeah, because you right now is making money.
Yeah, so they're like, keep doing that, keep doing that. But a lot of times, you know, I think every artist needs those, every superstar has those big songs, but they also need to have songs that are something that the people can connect to. And that's just as important as the commercial success for the longevity of an artist.
Totally. And when you're creating music now, who are you creating it for?
I think I've gotten back to the roots of it, and now I'm able to like make songs that are really for me above and beyond anything else. Like, I think, yeah, other people are gonna like it because if I like it, that means there's at least probably 1 million people in the world somewhere, at least, that are gonna resonate with whatever I have to say and however I have to say it. But I think that's why it's been so fun to make music again, because I really got back to the essence of why did I do this in the first place.
How long did it take you?
Probably like a couple years, to be honest.
You're really smart. You got a full ride to USC. How much of what you do is art versus like business?
See, this is something that I'd be like, you know that meme where it's like there's 2 wolves inside of you, you know?
Yeah.
It's one of my wolves is that creative artist mind, and one of the wolves is that, you know, logistical business mind. And I think for a while I let that business mind kind of take over and think about like the money or, you know, what's the business thing to do. But none of the great artists were fully like that. None of the artists that I admire were dominated by the industry part of it. They always came from a place of love and passion for the art.
It's true.
For the music. So I've had to like train that side of my brain and like embrace that a lot more.
But what pushed you into music to begin with?
Just just having fun, man. Just having fun with my friends.
Was
freestyling.
That's it?
Yeah.
Was it a form of communication? Were you able to say things via freestyling that you just couldn't say elsewhere?
No, I was really just talking shit. And it wasn't until later that I was like, oh, what if I use music as like my therapy to express things that are too hard to say with words alone, you know?
I get that.
Yeah.
So how does that apply to what we're hearing today? Carpoolers, which I believe like, honest, very honest, dude.
The Good Intention song?
Well, yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. wait, this line right here, plaques on every wall, but they from 2021. Take pictures, smoke a swisher, reminisce on how it was. What is that? What song is that from?
That's good
That's Good
intentions.
Intentions. Yeah.
Good Intentions. Sorry. That's an honest record.
Yeah.
Definitely ripped from reality, obviously.
Yeah.
So what are you healing from in that moment, or looking to heal from?
It's a lot of things, you know. I feel like this song was perfect to come out at this time in my life because only now am I able to be like aware of everything that I was feeling and dealing with over these last couple of years. And I don't want to be like a fucking crybaby and be like, oh, you know, I had a hit song and then I haven't had one yet, you know, for a period of time. That's not what this song is about. This song is more about the personal challenges and struggles that I've had to deal with of ego, you know, relationships, complacency, you know, more things like that, more the personal struggles that I had to deal with in this journey of like being a man growing up.
It's interesting to grow up while having a hit song that gives you a lot of money, right?
It's fucking weird, man. It's weird. Growing up, like, I feel like it's weird for everybody in my age group growing up right now, but through the pandemic and all of that, it's like, I don't know. I don't think any other generation has grown up with the same challenges or struggles that we have.
No, and by the way, every generation grows up with their own set of struggles.
Absolutely.
And, you know, historic massive events that end up shaping how they live and act and everything. But this was definitely a unique set of circumstances. And you were signed to Columbia Records before Mood, right?
Yeah, for like 2 years before.
Sick. I mean, that's great, right? Like, I can make the case that a lot of people had hit songs during the pandemic and then they got, you know, taken in by a major record label at a really interesting price, right?
Yeah.
So they don't ever get to like maybe even reap the rewards of the hit song.
Mm-hmm. No, they got me when I had like
Sick.
nothing going on.
Well,
you know?
yeah, but they saw potential in you.
Exactly.
It was real artist development.
And yes, and that was such a big thing because when Mood came out, a lot of people were like, "Where'd this kid come from?" But they wasn't there when I was doing shows for 20 people, 50 people back in high school in San Francisco selling my own tickets. You know, they weren't there when I was in college putting up stickers that I had made and paid for with my own money to promote the music. So there was a lot of that like real development, and having a hit song is kind of like a cheat code, you know, skip a level or it's like in GTA when you get all the guns or whatever and everything becomes easy now. But
it doesn't really.
It doesn't really.
Like for a minute, maybe it's cool.
Yes, and that's the point I think is like it's only temporary, and there's no replacement for experience and like going through the process.
When do you realize that it's temporary? Because that's a shocking thing. Like, do you remember the moment?
No, I don't think it was like any one thing. And even to this day, like, you know, all these songs, I'm still doing shows. I'm still doing everything that I was before. I think it's just now my focus and my intentions are different.
Where have they shifted to?
Just authenticity and like serving the people, you know, serving the people that come back and listen to my music or check in on me or care about what I have to say every day. Like, those are the people that I really care about more than anything at this point.
What do you mean by the line "victim of my selfishness is finally catching up"? Like, what in your life, when you hear that line, what in your life do you think of?
I think it's easy to get lost in the sauce, you know? When you're experiencing a moment of success, and this doesn't just apply in music, I think in any aspect of life, it's easy to get caught up in that, especially when you're 19 years old and nobody you know has ever done what I did at that time. And I think it just meant like, for me, not putting others first when I could or when I felt like I should have, and being considerate of, you know, family and friends that had helped me get here in the first place, being a little caught in my own world a bit.
At what point in your life do you realize you're acting different and you're like, oh shit, I'm not being genuine to the people around me or myself?
I think things like that you only realize after it happens.
Yeah.
And you're like, ooh, like that was kind of a dick thing to do. Or like, oh man, I should have, whatever, XYZ. And it's only, I think it's hard because it's like being in the eye of a hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the center of the hurricane, everything looks normal, but everything around you is whirlwind, brand new, chaotic, and you can't really see it until you step out.
It's true. And that's like, would you say that like the last, I don't know, since 2019, it's been a whirlwind of just shit and events and life-changing stuff?
Yeah, but I'm not sure how. I feel like that I would have felt like that anyways, just going from that age of like
life is
19
life.
to 23,
100%.
like seems like a pretty chaotic time period for everyone.
100%. 100%. So when you're drawing on your reality to write records, how are you bringing them to the studio and how are you capturing them? Is it like freestyle? Do you write stuff?
I like to think that the songs like come through me. Like I don't go into the studio knowing what I'm gonna talk about or knowing what I'm gonna say or even knowing what it's gonna sound like. It's like an experimentation and a discovery process. Like I'm some fucking archaeologist sifting through the sand and I stumble upon, a piece of something, and the more that I work at it, I uncover what it's meant to be. And all my favorite songs have come together that way.
But so, I mean, are you writing it? Are you just saying it out loud? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm writing it. Normally I'll start with the microphone doing melodies, trying to fit like.
Is there a beat first?
There's either a beat first or like I was in the shower earlier that day and a melody popped in my head and I recorded it and we build around that.
Got it. How often are you going to the studio?
Probably like 4 or 5 times a week.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So do you have enough to make an album right now?
I would say so.
Whatever happened to Growing Pains? Wasn't that an album that you were working on at one point?
Yeah. So what I'm doing now is I'm dropping the EP first.
Okay.
It's called No Place Like Home. And that's like the appetizer to what is going to be the album that might be called Growing Pains. I might change my mind in the next couple months. Who knows? But that's still a theme and a message that definitely resonates with me.
And Good Intentions, from this song, what can we expect from what's to come?
I think just great songs with substance.
Well, speaking of substance, can you explain the connection between Good Intentions and Carpoolers, which is, I messed up before, but it's a series of photos.
Yeah.
Right? Bird's eye shots of immigrants coming to this country, right? Immigrant workers, and they're sleeping in the backs of flatbed trucks. It's how they essentially commute to work, right?
So it was this photo series by I believe the photographer's name is Alex Cartagena.
Yeah, Alejandro
Cartagena, yeah. And he had just noticed like this beautiful perspective from the overpass looking down onto the freeway of all different kinds of things that would be in people's trucks. Sometimes it is, like you said, workers that are getting to wherever they need to go to get paid and feed their families and survive. Sometimes it's equipment. Sometimes it's, birthday supplies. And aside from just being a beautiful shot, I think the message of that I took that I really resonated with was you never know what somebody is carrying with them. Because from the side, a truck is a truck. Mm-hmm. But it isn't until you get that different perspective and an often hidden perspective that you truly see what somebody is carrying with them. And I felt like that resonated with me because I've been carrying all these emotions and feelings that I think a lot of people might not have known about because I wasn't ready to share them at the time.
So what changes? Why are you ready now?
I think it's just maturity, growing up, being more confident and comfortable with myself, and just trusting in that what I have to say, if it means something to me, it's going to mean something to somebody else.
You talk about songs just coming through you.
Yeah.
Does that apply to mood?
Yeah.
Can you explain to me what happened on that day?
Just as much as any other, great song that I've made, it was a lightning in a bottle kind of experience. It was the beginning of the pandemic, and it was me, you know, Ian, Omer, KBZ, and Ian's engineer, Ryan. And we were just kicking it at Ian's spot. And we were playing video games, you know, just chilling, doing what a bunch of 20-year-olds do. And I remember while me and Ian were playing Call of Duty, Omer had picked up a guitar and started playing that riff. And that melody, those words, Daniel is in the mood, it just came to me. And we kind of like stopped, worked on that, went back to playing games, worked on it a little more, and like in the span of an hour, 2 hours, the whole song was done.
That's crazy.
Right. Yeah.
And, like, you had nothing on your mind, or I mean, you had something on your mind.
Nah, I had, how am I gonna win this 3v3 gunfight on my mind? But I think that was why it was so easy, because it was effortless. You know, it was pure. It wasn't, how can I make a hit song that's gonna go viral or something like that. It was like what the music told me that I should say.
It's really something. When did you realize that song changed your life?
Shit, probably when I saw the first check.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Does having one big song like that, like, does that set you up for life?
I mean, it depends. It depends what you want for your life, you know?
True.
It definitely changed my life, but the life that I want to live and the things that I want to accomplish, it's gonna get me on. It's put me on the path to that, but it's not the final destination.
And a song like that can make you money forever, right? Like, it lives forever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but you can also make the case that you got to keep working to keep that song out there and afloat, and you know, there's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, and you could just as easily fuck off all the money, and it doesn't.
Oh yeah,
doesn't change your life at all.
It's interesting. Like, the life of a hit song is different today. And some songs are hit songs, and some songs are timeless that get synced like crazy and whatever. And everything is it is really interesting. It's wild too, because in the last like couple of years, people have been selling publishing or catalog or whatever they got, and they're looking at music from a different lens to really appraise it and understand its value.
Yeah.
I don't know. I find it interesting.
What's it feel like to throw the mood plaques in the fire?
Why'd you do that?
And was it real plaques?
Yeah, those are the real plaques.
No fucking
By
way.
the way, I have one for that song.
Well, see, if I ever need to get it back, I know where to come steal it from.
Yeah, we'll just say zachsang, but it's fine.
It's cool, yeah.
I actually rather have you have that one.
in the
So,
crib.
yeah, when you
zachsang.
show it off, it's like, oh, look at my plaque for my hit single that changed my fucking life and made me rich. And then it's mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
If
If you need it, tell me.
I'll definitely keep that in mind. But nah, it was I think it was important for me to do just on like an attachment basis. You know, what that plaque represents is something that people would kill for, you know? And while I acknowledge that and while I'm grateful for that, I also know that like that's not my whole identity, you know, and that's not all I have to offer to the world. So by letting go of that, it made space for more great things to come my way. That was what it meant to me internally. Like, don't get me wrong, I love that song. I'm still gonna perform it, but I needed to let go of that to make space for new things to come in.
Was it easy to throw those plaques in the flames, or were you kind of hesitant? You're like, oh shit, am I really doing this?
I commit, like, you know, I directed this video, so
Yeah,
I wrote this in the treatment. I knew it was coming,
it's a great video.
but it wasn't until I'm actually there doing it, like, yo, this is kind of crazy. Like, what the fuck am I doing?
real.
Like, but it definitely, that was an emotional part of the shoot for sure.
Wow. Now they're gone forever.
No, I mean, I could always order a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you throw the Valentino plaques in there too, or is it just the mood plaques?
I threw a mood plaque in there. I just threw
Yeah, you had a
any plaque I had.
you had a
Yeah.
whole box of stuff you threw in there.
I had a lot of plaques. Yeah, a lot of plaques to throw in.
Casual.
It must be nice though. It's kind of like putting the past in the past, and you're like, all right, I'm moving on to the future now.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it difficult though to like be in interviews? I mean, there could be worse things in life, but you're in interviews and people are talking to you about mood.
Sorry.
Nah, nah, I mean like what? It's a part of my life. It's a part of my story. Of course, we got to talk about that. But it's nice to come. It's nice to be putting stuff out now and have people understand like, oh wow, this kid is capable of so much more.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not that's not a novel like experience. Like when Valentino was the only thing I had, that's what people talked about. When City of Angels was the next hit I had, that's all people talked about. Mood, that's what they're gonna talk about. So now I got this body of work that I'm putting out, that I'm working on, this new single. So we have new things to talk about. But I could never be mad at what I did. I can only be, I'm proud of it, you know?
Yeah, it's all still a part of you.
Yeah, exactly.
City of Angels, great song too.
Thank you.
By the way, 24kGoldn, you should listen to his music and listen to the new single, Good Intentions. And when that album or EP, right, comes out, be informed. Just go to his artist page, hit it, click it, whatever.
Thank you for the plug.
Yeah, naturally. What's on your feet? Are those ballerina slippers?
Yeah, these are ballet slippers in silver.
Of course. Of course. My grandma would wear those.
Your grandma sounds like a fly individual.
There she is. She had swollen feet, though, so it would just like sit different. But yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. There's comfort in there. What are you thinking?
No, I just think your image is different now. Like you went from the braids to the afro. Is that part of setting up the whole new era that you want a different look?
It wasn't like it's planned out as that.
Life.
I just the afro is the hairstyle that I used to wear when I was a kid. Like from age like 3 to 13, and then again from like 15 to like 7 to like 16, 15 to 16. This was my hairstyle. And this whole chapter of my life, you know, No Place Like Home, is about returning to the roots in every sense of the word. How I used to dress, you know, going back home more often and going to the burrito spot that I used to go to, you know, after we would go party in Glen Park, going and listening to the music that I grew up on. So it's just all a part of that like energy and keeping everything like in alignment with that.
Which is like from the like where you began, where you started, your roots.
Yeah, exactly.
There's something to that.
What's the story you were talking about on Instagram, or something about you were driving your mailman's car?
Yeah.
What?
Yo, so growing up, I had like this cool ass mailman, right? And I used to like sell sneakers and stuff like that. So I would always have to go to the post office, and every time I would go to the post office, there would be this purple, like I think it's Daytona Violet, I think might be the color code, Daytona Violet BMW M3 from 95. It's an E36.
Sick.
And I love cars, especially like 80s and 90s Euro and JDM. So I would always be like, damn, that's fire. Like, whose is that? And one time when I went to the post office, I saw the owner like getting in after work or whatever, on his way to work or starting his shift. And I was like, yo, that's my mailman. What the fuck? So fast forward like 10 something years, my big bro, Paperboy, I've been telling him, yo, I want to learn how to drive stick. He's like, oh, I got a perfect car for you to buy. Like, the mailman is selling it. And I'm like, the mailman, the same car that I used to go see, and I put 2 and 2 together. So I ended up buying the car, learning how to drive stick. But on the drive back to LA from San Francisco, it was like the worst stop and go. Fucking a 6-hour trip turned into a 12-hour trip. Half of the mountain was on fire. I was in first gear, my foot's cramping up on the clutch. And as shitty as that was, it gave me time to like take in my surroundings. And that's when I found that reservoir that you see in the video, the golden rolling hills with the blue ocean-like background. That's the story.
It happened for a reason.
Exactly.
And you got it from your mailman.
And I got it from my mailman.
That's crazy.
You still have that car?
Yeah, I do.
Wow. Yeah, when you want to sell it, you can sell it to Dan. Sounds like you're a fan over
No,
there.
it just seems like something you keep forever. Like, what are the chances that 10 years after you find this car, your mailman just happens to be selling it?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's very full circle.
Yeah.
Wild. Do you have a date for the EP? Or a goal? A season?
I think like early March. Yeah.
Cool.
Early March.
Cool.
You have a new single coming out in like a week or two, right?
That is true.
Clarity.
Clarity, yes.
Yeah, we were just told that So I figured I was allowed to ask about it.
Yeah. Of course.
What's that song about? Haven't heard it yet.
That song, I feel like that song is like the perfect continuation of Good Intentions. Like, if this was like a PhD thesis or whatever, like Good Intentions, that's the intro, that's the topic sentence, the summary, the thesis of everything that this project is about, or the way that I feel about it. And Clarity is like, well, how have I been dealing with it? You know, what steps did I take to kind of get to the spot that I'm in now, where I'm able to like be free and expressive and the most pure form of myself.
And you get here through maturity in life, right? Like, growth.
Yeah.
You were 19 when Moody came out. What are you, 23, 24 now?
I'm 23, yeah.
That's crazy.
You changed a lot in those years.
Yeah, second puberty did me well.
Why do I feel like Mood came out yesterday?
It still sounds current.
Because it's pandemic time. Like,
Yeah, dude,
that don't
it's
count.
so
Those
nuts.
2 years, whatever, those don't count. Technically, I'm 21.
Oh, it's such a freaking weird time.
21.
Yeah, right.
Technically, I've like tried to make the case a few times that we should get 2 years back on our age, but whatever. Ever thought about going back to college? Because you technically can.
Yeah, technically I can, but I don't know. I probably wouldn't want to go until like I'm older and I like get an MBA or something like that. I don't know.
Smart.
Yeah.
Where are you sourcing beats from now? Like, how are you getting them?
I've got like a good core like group of guys. LeKen Taylor, Los Hendricks, Jacob Olufsen, Matt Cohn, Jasu, Axel Arvid. A real good, solid group of guys.
Who do you feel like you're making music for?
Me and people like me.
Do you care about having a hit?
It would be nice for sure, but that's not like what gets me up and gets me going every morning, gets me in the studio. Like, I have the utmost faith and confidence that my sensibilities musically are in line with what makes a song a hit. So naturally, I'm gonna get there anyways. But if I focus on how do I tell my story the best or a story the best, it's gonna like reach people's hearts.
Totally.
And I think that's more important than like being played at Target, you know?
Yeah. What story are you telling in Clarity?
I think redemption, you know? Or not even redemption, but a story of growth. I think Good Intentions was like, this is what I was going through, and Clarity is like, this is where I'm at now, you know?
When does this song come?
I was told February 2nd.
2nd?
That's
7th?
I mean, listen, I've gotten 2 different emails on it. It changes every time.
Word.
So I feel like they're still trying to figure it out, but sometime early February.
Yeah, sometime early February. Whatever's the Friday.
Well, the best
Probably
way to figure it out is keep it locked to Amazon Music, grab the artist page, click. Link in the description below. What are you thinking?
I just remember you also did something with a K-pop artist. Not
Yes.
too long. Twice.
Gio.
Yeah.
Yes.
How'd that come about?
Man, her people just reached out and they were like super nice. They invited me to their sold out show at the SoFi, which, by the way, was one of the craziest performances I ever seen in my whole life. They had instruments, they had dancing, moving stages. Like, it really inspired me for when I'm doing these next tours and whatever comes after that, to just go crazy with the production and with the performance. Because I think a lot of artists are so used to like just doing the bare minimum and getting by. Like, nah, I want to go K-pop, you know, Ye level stage design, Michael Jackson theatricality. Like, I want to build to that.
Put on a show.
Yeah, exactly. Give people something to remember.
Yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah. Do you have like any plans to tour? I mean, around an album, EP?
Yeah, we're looking at something right now for this year.
Giddy up. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. By the way, you also did like, I mean, you've worked with Twice, you worked with Mabel.
Mhm.
I mean, Travis Barker, obviously. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Any desire to like work again with a pop punk energy?
I think like my influences are my influences, and that's never like I can't get them out of me. So there's definitely gonna be some songs that come with that energy or like a similar energy, but that's not like that's not gonna be like a whole project at this point. I don't think.
I get it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you were kind of part of that group, like with Ian Dior and MGK, like kind of visiting the pop punk thing. That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
But it was weird because that wasn't like the music that I started making at all.
Yeah.
I kind of found myself in there naturally, and yeah, it was cool. It was a great sound, and there's great people in that world.
Yeah, it was a great little like year where all those songs were like the biggest thing in the world.
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. I really appreciate your time today, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out. Do you have a name for the EP?
No Place Like Home.
That's it.
Yes.
No place like home. Going back to our roots.
Yeah.
I feel like I can I don't want to tell the story. You're gonna make fun of me.
Tell a story. Tell a
No,
story.
no, no,
let's
no.
Nah,
hear it.
come on,
you
Zach.
can't tease
Come
us
on,
like
Zach.
that.
No, there is something I always quote Chris Martin, but there's very few guests that have come on our show who have told us stories that stick with me forever. And he's always one of these fucking guys. And he came on our show the first time. He's been on, I think maybe 2 or 3 times. The first time, we're just standing outside and we were talking about just we had moved to a brand new studio and life got really different for us and it just elevated really quickly. And something had happened similar between I guess Coldplay's first album and the second album. And they ended up moving to a big fancy studio, whatever. And if I'm remembering correctly, between the second and third album, he went back home with the band to the barn that they recorded the first one in.
Yeah.
And that's when everything kind of found balance again, right? And kind of came to be. And that's essentially what you're doing here in terms of going home, right? There is something to I don't know, creating in the place where it all began.
There's no place like home, man.
Yeah, man. The energy is you're never going to be able to duplicate that, and your energy matches that energy. It just breeds something different and special. I feel it when I go home, so it's interesting. Home is interesting.
You did mention when you were making Mood Catching Lightning in a Bottle. Have you had that same feeling since when you're making this new EP or album?
Yeah, I feel like these songs are some of my favorite songs or some of the best songs that I made. And I remember I was driving, I was doing another drive back from SF to LA. Thankfully, it didn't take 12 hours this time. But I went and I listened back to my whole discography and all the features I had done, all for the EP, the album. And I was like, wow, there's some really good songs here, but the stuff that I have coming up blows it out of the water, in my opinion. So I'm just excited for the people to hear it. Ooh, excuse me. I'm excited for the people to hear it. And yeah, that's because I know I love it, so I think they will too.
Goldn, I appreciate you.
Of course, Zach.
Thanks for your time, and thanks for taking the time and being here.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys.
You good?
What
are you thinking?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, cool.
Dan approved. We're good. Goldn, your real name.
No, you know what I did? I went back and I was listening to your discography, and it was funny because they put you on the Jocelyn remix of Olivia O'Brien.
Yo, that was so funny. I was literally just having a conversation about that yesterday.
What was your conversation about it?
It was just this is kind of random, but all right, fuck it, yeah.
Well, I was thinking it's because when Mood was blowing up, they put a Justin Bieber remix out.
Yeah, I put together Justin Bieber, J Balvin remix.
Yeah, no, it's just funny to you had a song that went #1, and they put all these artists on it, and then Olivia had a big song, and they're like, let's just put this guy on it.
Yeah, but that came before Mood or anything like that.
It did?
Yeah.
Damn. We got my timeline off though.
Well, it was same year though, right? 2020?
I think it was 2019 for real.
Oh, Jesus. I've lost all track of time.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's really weird. It's weird. I've been I think in life you just lose track of time, but that whole space is such a blob. Yeah. But there's things you remember.
Yeah.
And your art is a part of it.
Yes.
Thanks for taking the time today.
Thank you.
Goldn, everybody.
Woo!